sure it's Friday anyways.
Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Coach, whenever you want to start.
Well, first, hats off to Jackson State. Unbelievable team. They battled, did a really good job of putting us in some challenging positions, forced us to miss some opportunities early in the game, so hats off to them. But couldn't be more proud of our players. They executed well enough today to win. By no means, I think we played great, but all you got to do is improve every week. I thought we improved. I thought their competitive spirit and character towards this game was there. It was a rough week. Obviously, when you go all camp and you're putting something into it and you don't get the results you want, in that first one, it makes it tough, but I thought our kids battled. I thought our coaches did a really good job of putting them in position to go make plays, and they went out and executed. Unbelievable job by them. I want to say thank you to every fan that showed up. Both bands, our band, DJ Cujo, the student section. This is what Southern Miss football is all about. We need everybody. I knew last week wasn't what you guys wanted from a result standpoint, so we went back and did everything we could to make sure that when you guys leave the stadium today, you had a smile on your face. So hopefully that brings you back next week with the same intensity and the same goal to improve. So really appreciative of the administration. This was a long time coming. I think I read somewhere last week we were on an 11-game losing streak. It's been since 2011 since we blocked a punt here. Just a lot of firsts, or in long times. But really good opportunity for us to go out and show what we can do. I think there's a lot of points left out here. Probably could have scored close to 60 today if we'd executed consistently. But I thought the guys responded well. I thought our defense, for the most part, did a really good job of responding, coming up with some turnovers, which is huge. So really proud of the guys. We get to celebrate this for another few hours and get back to work on the next opponent. So with that, open up questions.
Coach, you guys were able to pull away in the second half there. What was the biggest difference in the second half compared to the first half?
We just talked about, the standard here is not just to play one half, and we kind of pounded that into our guys last week. We played a good half, and everybody was like, oh man, we played a good half. That's not the standard. The standard is to go out as long as they tell us we got to play and continue to execute at a high level. I challenged the coaches to stay aggressive. Sometimes you get to the second half and you've got a lead or you're behind and you change your game plan. We didn't want to do that. I thought I challenged the players to stay aggressive. I'm not one of these coaches that believe in 0-0, but it's not 0-0. It's whatever the score is at the half, and we should be continuing to improve. With the awareness of what's going on. If it's 0-0, that changes tendencies. So if they're down by 10 or 12 or 3, our tendencies in situational football should carry over. So we talked about that at halftime. We talked about coming out and staying aggressive. And the standard is the standard, not just because we're playing, an in-state rival or we're playing a really good team. That's the standard. So every opponent, we got to come out the second half and improve. Obviously, the opponent, the situation changes what you do. But I thought our kids did a really good job of responding to that.
Coach, I know you talked about some of the areas coming into this game. You weren't going to overlook your opponent, but what are some of the areas that JSU really challenged you in that you guys kind of had to?
Yeah, I thought they've got really good size. So moving them is difficult. They've got some players that started at some P5 schools, so size and strength-wise. I thought they did a really good job of mixing up blitzes, from the field, from the boundary, adding a guy to the party, adding a hat to the run game. That was one of the things. I thought they did a good job with the run game, kind of mimicking a little bit what Mississippi State did with the ball kind of rolling off the table. I think our guys are a little too aggressive to kind of attack tackle. You guys kind of set an edge a little bit. We don't want to stay outside because then the B gap's open, but we got to work technique and get off the block a little bit. So I thought they did a good job of that. I thought their receivers made a couple plays downfield. One catch over here in the first half on the sideline was a really good catch. A couple of times we weren't in a great position, but I thought they did a good job of executing what was given.
Coach, first half, tough to get a rhythm going. Blitz pickup was kind of tough at times. Come out in the second half. About the middle of the third quarter, you get that big return and go on that seven play drive. And it seems like your guys kind of caught fire and rhythm there. Kind of speak to that.
Yeah, I thought in the first half we had good rhythm. We just got down in the red area and kind of sputtered a little bit, right around that range of field goal or go for it. We missed 2 field goals, I think, today. We hit those 2 field goals and it changes the narrative. Obviously I don't live in the if world, but when you get right in that range between field goal and go for it, you can't stall out. You gotta, convert there. We didn't do that today. They did some really good things to challenge us with the blitzes, showing it one side, bringing it the other. The second half, we made some adjustments. I thought we threw the screen pass, kind of off of it. That was some of the adjustments. In the first half, we were trying to just run it the other way. They were bringing it the other way. So good job by them. They coached too. But I thought the first half, we really kicked ourselves in the foot right in that area between field goal, go for it, right in that area. Reed's done a really good job all week. He's hit some 48, 49, so we felt comfortable with it. Obviously today he just missed a couple, obviously, but we still believe in him. You put those field goals through, it's a totally different dynamic coming out of the first half. So we still got work to do. I think it's I told the coaches on the headset, after the long kickoff return, this is great teaching. We got some guys in there who, hey, I should be playing. Coach, what do I got to do to play? Okay, well, here's the film. You got to get off this block. We got some young guys in there later on, which was really good. We got some guys that we need to keep developing. I thought our corners did a heck of a job today, playing the ball in the air with poise. I don't know if we had a pass interference call at all. I thought that's really good. It's tough to do when you're throwing the ball down the field against good receivers. So a lot to kind of build on. That first half changes a little bit if we can kind of stay out of the mud there in that mid-range.
Coach, second straight week that you guys have been okay on the ground. Is there cause for concern in your
No,
with the
not
rush?
at all. We're going to move the ball. We didn't move the ball on the ground. We probably had close to 100 yards in swing passes. And to me, that's a run. I know you guys don't chart it that way. I know you guys just want us to line up, go 3 yards, cloud of dust, 3 more yards, cloud of dust. But for us, it's about efficiency. If we can spit the ball on the edge, get 6 yards, it's just like running inside zone for 6. If we can throw a bubble and get 6 yards, it's like running inside zone for 6. That's the way we look at it. We don't go into a game and say, hey, we got to run the ball for, 82 yards with the running backs. I think you keep teams off balance when you do both. There's going to be games where they do a better job on the perimeter. We got to run it inside. You can't do both. You can't add blitz to the box to stop the run and play the perimeter. That's the beauty of our system, So I think it, works really good when you can do both.
On the flip side, you already mentioned it, but stopping their run was a struggle for you guys at times today, and it seemed like you guys were kind of missing tackles, getting points. Is that just a fundamental thing, or is there something more to that?
No, I think it's game 2. We missed 20 tackles last week. I don't think we missed 20 today. So I think, again, it's game 2. We got to continue to rep it. We don't tackle in practice. That's a choice of mine. We can go over there and tackle for 3 hours and make 2 more tackles and then lose a guy over there. But no, I think there's some opportunities where we can be a little bit more technically sound with some of the blitzes and stunts we're running. That's a good team out there too. I mean, they're not just going to say, hey, tackle me. I think that team probably, they're going to be pretty good in their conference. So it's a combination of all things. We got to continue to get better. Don't get me wrong. I take full responsibility for that. But it doesn't come as concern.
Coach, how long do you spend on looking at corrective measures, making players watch films before you move on to the next week and you say, let's clear that slate on to the next?
Yeah, we got really good leadership. So Sunday is their off day. So tomorrow they'll be off. Our coaches will come in and kind of watch the film. And what we do is we send them kind of basically like an email of, hey, here are some plays for you to watch. They'll watch it. Then when they come in Monday, we watch kind of the hit chart, right? The plays that we really need to point out as a program, as positions, as units. And then we move on. And that's the one thing, when you get into the meat of this deal, you don't have a lot of time to reflect. You don't have a lot of time to go back and reteach, day 1 install. You got to kind of continue to move. That really determines who plays, right? Because we can't go back and teach you day 1 install all over again. We got to kind of keep moving. So those that can kind of pick it up and self-correct and then go to practice and self-correct, play a little bit more. Those that don't, we got to keep repping, keep developing.
Coach, you kind of mentioned it at the start, but Ahmere Foster gets that block punt to start the game. He also gets an interception. Can you just talk about how important that block punt for a touchdown was at the start of the game, and then also Ahmere Foster throughout the game?
Yeah, you guys aren't believe it. I called it. I called it on Tuesday. In the meeting, I said, here's the deal. We're going to defer. We're going to 3 and out. We're going to block the punt for a touchdown. Schematically, they weren't sound on what they were doing at all, so we took advantage of it. Honestly, I'll be completely honest, I wanted to go after everyone. But you get in that situation, first half, our defense played a lot of plays. But now we run into the kicker. Now they're back out there for another 4 or 5 plays. That was a schematical error that I didn't think was really good. I thought it was an advantage for us. We make some of those field goals, we'd probably go after 2 or 3 more. And we probably would have gotten all 3 of them. I thought Ahmere did a really good job of shaving the edge, not running into the punter, doing a really good job keeping his head down. I thought he played well, throughout the day. He was communicating, made a big time interception. Those are the type of plays and players that we need to start really coming on. The old coaching adage, which I do believe, you make the most progress between game 1 and game 2. I thought Ahmere made a huge jump. Now, when Ahmere makes a huge jump, there's other guys on that unit that are doing their job as well. So I think the cohesiveness of what we're trying to do showed up a little bit today.
Coach, Dawn Montgomery from Black Press USA out of DC and Atlanta. One of the things that we are focusing in on our game day story for you all in Jackson State is the historic moment of the first head black coach here at Southern Miss, playing against the black head coach at HBCU. Now, we're very familiar with the atmosphere online and some of the things that have been shared. I've already seen the joint statement, but I wanted to kind of hear from you how you felt being in this space, representing what you're representing on behalf of Southern Miss in the community of Hattiesburg. I'm originally from Hattiesburg, so I see one side and another side, but I just wanted a direct quote from you specifically on how you felt about this game and you thank the fans. So it's so important to do all of those things.
I took a moment when we ran out and it was humbling, extremely appreciative. I'm an HBCU grad, Hampton University. I told Coach Taylor before the game, you can't beat Hampton twice. You got them last week. You can't get us today, man. But I've known Coach Taylor for a long time. I know in that level of ball what the things that he has to work through to get his team to play that well. It was an honor for me. I thanked Jeremy and the administration after the game. It was bigger than just the win for me. It represents a lot of people who look up to this position, not necessarily me. It represents progress here in the state of Mississippi, here at Southern Miss. It represents the administration at the top, looking at the credibility and credentials, not the visual output. I think it was great that we had fans from both schools come. I don't know if you guys saw me. It took me back to my Hampton days with the band. Hampton TSU. I played Jackson State in the Southern Heritage Classic 2 or 3 times. I know the value of the band and the cheerleaders, both bands, not just the Sonic Boom, but our band. I think again, we oftentimes look at the guys on the field, but it's everything included. And for me to be able to stand in this position is truly humbling. I thank God every day for the opportunity. I try to show my appreciation through my work. I try to show my appreciation through my professionalism and the chair that I hold. I hope that I can continue to do that so that there's some 5-year-old kid like I was that looked up to Art Shell when I was 5 years old and wanted to be just like Art Shell, the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. Hopefully there's some 5-year-old kid that looks at me and Coach Taylor and says, hey, I can be the head coach of a Division I FBS FCS program. So I don't take that lightly. And I don't take the fact that there's a lot of people around here, and I say around here, around Hattiesburg and Southern Miss, that don't take that lightly.
Coach, what was that moment like for you when you're walking off the field, heading into the locker room with your team, and you're getting to celebrate your first move as the head coach here?
Yeah, I'm a guy that really, like before a game, it's like, okay, have you prepared them enough? Are they prepared for this? Did you say the right thing on Tuesday? So I really, question's not the right word, but I really analyze making sure I did everything I could possibly do to prepare them to go play well. And walking off the field, to be completely honest, it was like, no, you didn't, because we should have played better. But it was a good moment. These kids deserve it. This community deserves it. I mean, 11-game losing streak's not good. It's tough. So this community deserves it. These kids deserve it. They work extremely hard. This administration works extremely hard to put on a game. We've been blessed the last 2 weeks to probably have some phenomenal attendance and crowds, but we still get the emails. I don't control the tailgating. I know people email me. I couldn't even tell you where the tailgates are. But I know sometimes change is hard, right? Everybody wants change, so it's time to change. I can guarantee you everyone's pulling the rope in the same direction, and nights like tonight get to truly show that.
Coach, when y'all signed Kadinn Morris, initially when y'all brought him in, I thought split zone hammer for you guys, but outstanding ball skills these first 2 games. Kind of speak to what
Yeah, I think he's doing a really good job, man. He puts a lot of time and effort into, his downfield ball catching, his route running. Coach Dalton Williams does a phenomenal job. He's hard on those guys because typically when you play tight end, you got that, you're the utility wrench, right? You're supposed to block like an old lineman, but we also want you to play receiver like the wideout. You know what I mean? So it's a tough job. But he's tough as nails. He works at it. He's always got a smile on his face. We've been able to put him in some really good positions, and he's been able to execute.
Coach, talk about the improvement from the quarterback from the first game to this game and how his progress is going.
Yeah, I thought the last 2 games, Braylon's been in flow state, man. I mean, it's been really, really easy to him as far as what he's seeing, what he's thinking. They challenged us a little bit today with some of the pressure, which made some of the decision-making a little cloudy. But what I did appreciate, he didn't put the ball in jeopardy. He didn't try to throw it and go, oh, it's pressure coming, I'm going to try to throw it. If we can play games and not turn the ball over, we're going to have a good chance to be successful. I thought he's done a really good job of that. I thought he's done a really good job of knowing when to step up, when to take off, when to check it down. There's probably 3 or 4 throws today that he'd like to have back. But there's also 3 or 4 throws where great throw, receiver went up and made a great play, O-line protected, it worked out. So I thought the last couple weeks he's done a really good job of taking what the defense gives him. Coach Anderson and him spent a lot of time making sure they understand why Coach Anderson's calling this play, what he's looking for. Hey, if it's not there, go to this. And I thought the last, especially today, I thought was that show.
Start conference play next week. Does the mindset change at all? Does it shift at all?
No, the standard's the standard, man. We got to come out and improve. Today, what we did today was good enough for today. It won't be good enough next week, so we've got to improve. I said it last week, you can learn in failure and success. Obviously, it's a lot easier to watch the film after a win for both parties, coaches and players. But the standard's the standard. We show up every single day. Tomorrow is Sunday. Coaches, the standard's the standard. We got a lot of recruits on campus this weekend. That's the standard. Monday is the standard. We're not a logo or who we're facing program. And when we get to that point, we'll start to see consistency in our play. So we go back to work. There's going to be a lot of things we want to get cleaned up. I didn't think we were great on 3rd down today. We were really good on 3rd down last week. But we were better in our penalties. So there's always something to improve on. There's always something to go out and get better at.
Anything else? Coach, thank you.
Good. Well, appreciate everybody. Look forward to seeing. Real quick, every fan in Hattiesburg, we need you here next Saturday night. It's non-negotiable. Don't ask. Tell your wife that you're going to the Rock. Tell your boss that we're getting off early on Saturday if we work Saturday because we're going to the Rock. We need everyone here Saturday night. It's the biggest game of the year because it's the next game. And if we all decide that this is the most important thing in Hattiesburg, we'll all get to where we want to go. So we need everybody. There's no excuse. No, there's no excuse. So you guys bring your cameras. There's no excuse. You're not taking off next Saturday. Cancel the vacation. Cancel the winery trip. Next Saturday, we need everybody in the city of Hattiesburg and in a stone's throw of Hattiesburg in the Rock. These players need you. These fans need you. These students, don't forget the cheerleaders, they need you. The band, we need you. Everybody, I'm not joking, guys. If you're not here, I'm coming to your house and knocking on your door. Okay? In the middle of the game, I'm gonna leave the game, come knock on your door and ask you, why are you not in the Rock? No, seriously, we need everybody here. We cannot do this alone. And trust me, I don't think we played great enough today to wow anybody, but we got to be in this together. So please, I know it's 3 weeks in a row, but that's who we are now. We are what we consistently do. So for the last 2 weeks, we've consistently showed up. So we can't change it now, right? So appreciate the people that showed up today. Appreciate everyone that's going to come tomorrow. We need you here next Saturday. Please, to the top.
All right.
You guys are ready?
All right, everybody good?
bit. Just talk about the win today. You know, this team really came out and showed that this season can have a lot of promise.
You know, the win was great today. Coach Huff's first win in his program. You know, that's good for all of us, especially guys that transfer here with him. But I feel like the win was great. We have a lot more work to do, a lot to improve on, and we're going to get ready for next season.
Ahmere, did you know that your punt block returned a touchdown? It's the first time since 2011 since the program.
Yeah, we went over that in the meeting Wednesday. You know, they put it up on the board. The last punt block was since 2011, and I had one previous year at my prior school, so I knew I had it.
Coach Huff said he knew on Tuesday y'all were gonna, get that. Did you know on Tuesday you were gonna get that as well?
Yeah, I knew it. Tuesday and Wednesday, we prepared for it. I was getting extra blocks after practice. We just went over there a lot, so I knew coming in this game I was gonna get that block.
And what did you see on that interception you had?
On that interception, I was just reading the quarterback. You know, as he got into a slow motion, I made a break on the ball and just made a play.
Now, what's been your take on the tackling so far these last couple of games?
You know, I think we can always improve on every aspect of the game. You know, tackling gonna get better each week. You know, it was game 1, we don't usually go live. Game 2, we gotten a little better from previous weeks. We're just gonna keep getting better and better every week.
Any other questions for Ahmere? All right, thank you.
Thanks. Kadinn, initially when they signed you, I had the thought that you were getting brought in here as kind of a split zone hammer kind of guy in the run game. You obviously have ball skills. You've shown the last 2 weeks, huge catches. I don't think I've seen you drop a ball, so kind of speak to that. I don't think you caught a lot of balls the previous plays, and you were kind of becoming a weapon here early on.
Yeah, I mean, I did what I was asked to do at my old school. That's what they asked me to do, and that was my job. So I took advantage of all those opportunities that I got. I mean, in high school I played receiver, so I've always had that ability. Never really got to showcase that, but here they're asking me to catch the ball a little bit. I might as well catch it, I think.
I know each team is different, and Mississippi State facing them first, and then Jackson State. But what do you feel like the team really improved on the most today?
Yeah, I just think all week Coach Huff was telling us to just get better, worry about us, focus on us. Something I go by is just always a nameless, faceless opponent. Don't matter who you're playing, going out there to improve every day. Yeah, I mean, Jackson State, Mississippi State. At the end of the day, we gotta go out there, do our job, and get a win.
What has it been like for you these first 2 games to go out there and show your pass catching ability?
Yeah, I mean, if the ball's in the air and the ball's gonna find me, that's my job on that play, to catch it. I'm gonna drop them. Braylon's not gonna call them anymore, so I'm gonna take advantage of those opportunities.
What is it like catching passes from Braylon and building that chemistry?
Yeah, I mean, we was catching. He was all summer. I mean, I saw him, B. Brown, and Smooth just out there running routes. So I was like, might as well go out there and run around with him, right? And yeah, we did that all the time. So I think just been built over the summer and consistent work.
Any other questions? All right, thanks, Kadinn.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Kadinn.
Yeah, Braylon, just reflect on your play today. I know we talked about last week. The goal is to get better each and every week. How can you describe your performance today?
Well, I didn't turn the ball over, so that's a plus. It was in the third quarter, towards the end of the third quarter. I had a stretch where I missed like 4 or 5 balls in a row. Other than that, I thought I give myself a B- performance today. Definitely some stuff I could have did better. I feel like I could have worked the pocket a little bit better, helped the O-line out. I feel like when I did take off running, it was good. I got positive yards. I got to do a better job of taking care of my body. You know, I drop my head sometimes. I probably don't need to. But you know, I feel like I played okay.
What was Jackson State? What was Jackson State kind of doing with their different blitz packaging to kind of mix up the offensive line?
We knew coming in they were going to do a lot of stuff. They were going to try to wreck the front. They were going to do a lot of twists. They were going to do basically everything to get our guys off of their game. We felt like they couldn't, just line up and give us a straight ahead rush and beat us. So, they did a lot of stuff that, kind of worked to their advantage. But our guys did a great job of picking it up and adjusting. So.
Kind of speak to halftime. The blitz was the issue in the first half. coming out of the second half, you guys got that screen game going to kind of mitigate what they were doing, kind of speak to that and what Coach Anderson is selling you, during halftime.
Yeah, that's just Coach Anderson. He's a great offensive mind. Obviously, he's been a head coach before, so he sees the game from a different light, like I've said numerous times. But we really didn't change that much. Besides adding a couple screens. We ran our. I don't know if you guys noticed, but that first drive out of the half, we ran 2 of our first plays from the first drive of the game. So those are identical if you didn't know. But yeah, just going out there and playing our brand of football. I feel like when we do what we're supposed to do and we're clicking on offense, we're a good group.
So, good evening. From the first week, good to see you. From the first week to the second week, a loss from a win. How do you separate the two? When you review film, how do you not take those things on so that next week you can come out better and, have more progress?
Yeah, that's the thing about me. Honestly, when I do break down film, I'm not looking for highlights or anything that I did good. I'm always being very critical of myself. I'm trying to get better every single time I cut that film on. And from this week, like I said, there's some throws that I want back from the end of that third quarter, some routine throws that I missed. Probably just weren't getting my feet set or I was drifting back in the pocket, just stuff like that. I'm very critical of myself though when I watch film.
Your receivers made a lot of contested catches, same as last week. Talk about your confidence in them.
Yeah, so obviously I've been with Carl for 4 years now since we were at Tulsa, and this is my second year with most of the other guys. So the chemistry's there and the trust is there. We spent every single day together in the summer, whether it was 7-on-7 or extra work or the mandated work that we had. But my trust in those guys is through the roof, and I know if I put the ball up, it's not 50-50. I like my guys 70-30. So those guys are playmakers. Carl, Bray, on the outside, Micah on the outside, Smooth, Doc in the slot. We have dynamic guys all over the field. Can't forget our backs either. They're a big part of our passing game too, whether it's screens or checkdowns or just getting them a design touch. But we have a lot of dynamic players on this offense, and when you combat that with my skill set, we're gonna give people some problems. So
How is the team going to carry the momentum from this game heading into conference play and hopefully even further than that?
yeah, obviously it was great to get this win today, get it at home, but I wouldn't even say we're trying to carry it. We're just trying to get better from this week to next week. Obviously, App State, they're a great program. They're a historic program. A lot of good things in that program. Played them last year. They're a great team. They're coached well, and they're gonna play hard. So we're gonna have to bring our A game. We're gonna have to do a lot of things. A lot of the stuff that we got away with in this game, we might not be able to get away with next week. But at the end of the day, you gotta go play the game and you gotta show up. So we're gonna see how it goes.
During this game, you did a lot of running, passing and running. What did you see as the downfalls when you were up against Jackson State that really kind of perplexed you as far as moving forward to complete your passes?
Yeah, I just try to go through my reads. Like Coach Anderson gives me a great plan. He lays stuff out for me. He makes stuff very clearly. He gives me great checks to get out of things. And like I said, we have great receivers. So if I just do my job honestly, and I don't turn the ball over, the offense is gonna roll.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Hey, y'all heard Coach Huff. Everybody at the Rock next week. We not playing. I see y'all there.
See you.